Hey, hello there. Jacob here from Firebrand Astrology Tarot and Healing with the reading for the week of the 13th of June all the way through to the 19th of June. So we have here, that is the chart for noon on Monday in the UK. As you can see, lots of red lines. You know what those mean. And the chart for the end of the week, lots of red lines. So the big news this week is that Mercury, having moved out of shadow and now being direct and moving out of shadow, moves back home. So Mercury comes home this week because he moves into Gemini on sort of Sunday, Monday time. And obviously Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so when the planet is in its own sign, it is more powerful, more congruent. So this week, our thoughts and our communications are going to be very, very important in terms of what's going on. However, we have for the whole of the week, as you can see from the red lines, we have a T-square in place all week. And that involves Neptune and the South Node opposing Jupiter and the North Node, squaring Saturn down in Sagittarius. This is because Saturn, Jupiter and Neptune are fairly slow moving planets, so they don't move very fast. The Sun moves a degree a day, and Venus at the moment is moving about a degree a day as well. Saturn Saturn takes 3 years to move through a sign, so he's very slow. Neptune takes even longer. Jupiter is a year, so Jupiter, I suppose, moves about a degree every 5 or every 6 or 7 days, something like that. T-square in place, so we're still dealing with our thoughts and communication are a little bit out of the mix now because the Gemini energy has shifted to the later degrees, Sun and Venus. However, Mercury is going to go to that point in about 2 to 3 weeks' time. So probably going in 2 or 3 weeks' time, we'll be talking about it again a lot more. So we're dealing with reality, the need to heal, reality, the need to heal, being of service, being focused in the detail, opposing where we're disillusioned, what we're disillusioned about, the fogginess, wanting to embody our Christ conscious energy, wanting to be more spiritually pure, the need to escape, the need to be caught up in the addiction of dramas and stuff like that, squaring what we believe and what our belief systems are. That's going on all week with the T-square. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the Sun and Venus are sextiling Uranus, so it's calling for us to be more innovative about how we see ourselves, innovative in our approach, innovative in what we love, being more kind of out there in that respect. So you kind of, sort of being open to possibilities, also watching out for instability and things changing rather quickly. We have the Moon in Libra, which will hopefully balance out our feelings a little bit, and the Moon will be sextiling Mercury for a very short period of time, so we'll be able to put some emotion and love behind our thoughts. Tuesday, the Moon is in Libra all day. It will oppose Uranus, so there'll be a little bit of instability in our emotions. The Moon will trine the Sun and Venus, which will give us some support in regards to our communications, and we should be able to communicate our emotions a lot easier and be able to express ourselves and our authenticity a lot easier. The moon will also sextile Saturn as well, which help us to put some emotional context and feelings behind the decisions we're making and our belief systems. We have for a few days also the Sun and Venus quintiling Mars. So there is going to be some issue about where we put our actions into our transformation. It's not going to be smooth playing. So whatever actions we're putting for our deep transformation, all that Scorpio energy, is going to be at odds with our identity and what we love about ourselves and our relationships and stuff like that. So that is just something we really need to be mindful of. All week we have Jupiter and the North Node trining Pluto in Capricorn. So we still have the support there for expansion of our healing and to expand where we're healing. Mars is also trining Chiron for most of the week as well. I'm going to jump up and down a little bit because a lot of these transits are all week. Mars is trining Chiron all week. So again, in regards to healing our spiritual wounds and healing our Christ conscious energy, looking at healing and where we're addicted to certain things and where we're addicted to certain behaviors and ways of being, which is linked into how we see our reality. Mars there will be calling us to act and put some actions behind what we're doing, and because it's a trine, it will be supported. However, because Chiron is squaring the Sun and Venus, and we also know that it's quintiling as well, Mars, this is really kind of saying that, this is going to be at odds about what we think we love about ourselves. This is going to be at odds of what, or it's going to be what we love about ourselves is at odds with other people, so, and how they perceive us, and calling us to be our true authentic selves and stand up in our power, not allow other people's perceptions to affect who we are and what we think about ourselves, in order for us to put our own actions into what we need to heal in our lives and what we need to move forward and where we need to go. Because at the moment there's a lot of antagonistic energies but at the same time there's supporting energy. So we've got the support there, but we can't see the support because of the antagonistic stuff that's going on. And we really need to try and balance it all out and put it in its place. Hence the Virgo reality and the Pisces disillusionment kind of dreaminess opposing each other and squaring down in Saturn, in Sagittarius, with decisions and what our beliefs are. Thursday sees the moon having moved into Scorpio and trining sextiling the energy in Virgo. So here will be some support from the moon to put some emotions into what we're transforming, the intensity as well. So things will probably be quite intense. The moon being in Scorpio, whatever we're doing, whatever we're feeling, it will be with intensity as well, and the moon will trine the Pisces stuff. So there will be some more support there in terms of healing and stuff like that, Friday, the moon is still in Scorpio all day. The moon will trine the South Node, Chiron, and Neptune all around sort of Thursday, Friday time. So there'll be a lot of emotional support from ourselves to put emotions into what we're healing and really feel it somehow, and we'll maybe even start to feel the work that we're making on ourselves and maybe feel the difference. On Saturday, the Venus moves into Cancer. Venus is now 3 degrees ahead of the Sun. and Venus is going to continue to move ahead of the Sun all the way until March next year. Okay, so for the next 8 or 9 months, Venus is going to move further and further and further ahead of the Sun. Okay, and this means that really we are paying love forward, and we're pushing love forward. So it's really important at the moment. We put a lot of love forward to our future selves as to where we want to be in our life and who we want to be, is to put that love forward as Venus is moving ahead of the Sun, yeah? And then when Venus moves behind the Sun, later on, March time next year, we have to then love who we were. That makes sense. And Venus is going to trine Black Lilith in Scorpio. Scorpio is really intense. The Scorpios all, if you piss Scorpio off, they are like the black mamba. If you piss a black mamba off, it will follow you for 10 miles to bite you. That is Scorpio at its worst. If you piss Scorpio off, fucking you all know about it. They will go all out to wreak revenge on you. Now, because Venus is going to trine this energy, we are really going to be able to nurture ourselves and put love and nurturing into the pissed off Lilith energy, basically, That's whether you're male or female or whatever. Next Sunday, the moon moves, that's Sunday the 19th of June, the moon moves over Saturn, so we're going to start to love the decisions we're making about changing our belief patterns and all of that. The Sun is building to move into Cancer and build up to the summer solstice. So all in all, really, it's a sort of continuing theme to how it has been the last few weeks, with what had been the grand square in place. That is now a T-square, and it will become a ground square again and again about 2 weeks' time when Mercury goes there. But thank fuck for that, because Mercury moves so quickly. It will only be a few days in regards to our thoughts and stuff like that, So these are the cards, the hay fever, excuse me. Okay, right, it's funny because last week it was all water, This week it's fire and air. So here we have the Lover's card, okay? So we got here the Lover's card, which is the duality of our nature. The Lover's card is the Gemini card because you've got a Gemini thing up there in the corner. We also have the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is fire, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. We don't have any Leo energy at the moment, so that's not too important. And here we have the King of Swords, which is our air, so Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. Okay. This is really, because the moon is Libra at the start of the week, it's really asking us to balance out the duality of our nature. I spoke before about divine masculine, divine feminine energies. We really need to be moving away from genderizing the energies in such a fashion, because as we know from what's happening in several states in America at the moment, gender isn't such a clear-cut issue. and people are very caught up in who can use what sort of bathroom based on a very kind of narrowistic, defined, restrictive idea about gender. Okay, so really looking at the duality of our nature, and this literally is the kind of the dark and the light, and looking at how we can nurture ourselves and have nourishment in our lives with the apple trees there in the background, and she's presenting the apple there, and the books are at the side. We're not really paying much attention to the books, so they're writing. So this is really about not being caught up in the detail and the reality by just going through loads and loads of information. Here we have the energy of fire, the divine energy of fire, and the king there summoning the energy of fire to manifest and to create actions and energies. So here we have the moon fall in the background here. So this is looking towards the end of the month when we have a full moon in Gemini. So this is quite interesting. So we are going to have a full moon in Gemini right at the end of the month at 29 degrees, but not until the week after next. Okay, so this is asking us to build up and look at what we want to release for the full moon, and this is telling us to mind and be watchful of our thoughts and how we communicate, and to really, he is quite guarded there and quite anxious. We really need to be mindful of our thoughts and the ways that we communicate with people. With it coming up to the full moon, it might have consequences that we really do not want to intend. And basically, that's my thought for this week is, we are mastering our own destinies, and we are the masters of our own destiny, of where we're going. So we really need to think that and believe that at the core of ourselves. Okay, thank you.